Diagrams or some print of what the layout would look like.
Well, remember, this is a conceptual idea, and
Okay.
I would just say that this is certainly not the finished thing. In fact, these are the plans that were done for Norwich Heritage Trust by Bill Krosky, what, 4 years ago? And I would caution anyone to say this is the final plan. In fact, the Women's Institute, it would be a different layout somewhat.
Okay, yeah.
A different number of apartments,
Yeah.
I think 20 instead of 17. But the
Well, let's
concept
look
is,
briefly,
concept is here. You know, here's Main Street. This is the second and third floor. This is the fourth floor. And the advantage to a building like Reid Hughes is that because it was a department store, it had large amounts of open floor space. There weren't partitions and so forth. So it's pretty much a large cavernous building. Not a lot of bearing walls inside the building. So they would be able to carve that space up into apartments pretty easily. There's no real historic material or very little inside the building, so the developer doesn't have to worry about saving molding and other important interior details. The developer has a pretty free hand. They can pretty much do what they want in terms of laying out the building for apartments.
So how many apartments approximately were you hoping to have?
Well, the Women's Institute plan that Bill Krosky has been working with, I think is 20 units. They have talked to the Veterans Administration. The Veterans Administration has indicated that they would like 10 to 15 units of those 20 to be for veterans.
Okay.
That's a pretty substantial number. The advantage is that, you know, these veterans will be downtown. There are bus services. There are veteran services in the city hall. There's the vet center. There's the Disabled American Veterans. You know, and there are other agencies in the downtown, so they'll be near those. They're on the bus route. The library is just 2 blocks away, which is a great resource for people. The post office is just down the street. The city hall. So, you know, it's really in many ways an ideal circumstance for them. And, you know, so it would be very good.
Now, the Women's Institute is familiar with getting grants.
Yes. They've been
So
very...
they've experienced this type of work. So they will be finding out within the year, right? Or
No,
is the grant
not
going to
necessarily.
be...
Not necessarily. It could take
They can start
longer.
the work even...
Well, they would start the stabilization this summer and be done by the fall. So the building doesn't have to go through another winter with the nervous Nellies at the building department, you know, the sky is falling, that kind of thing. But that will give them the time that they'll need to apply for funding from a variety of sources. You know, some of it would be through the State Department of Economic and Community Development. Some of it would be through, you know, well, some of it would be funded through tax credits. The wonderful thing is the cost of this project will be about $6 million. Half of that cost will be paid for by tax credits. Here's the deal. You have tax credits, federal and state tax credits that are available. They would amount to about 50%, about $3 million. So Women's Institute would set up those tax credits so that a company that would otherwise have to pay taxes on that money would instead fund the project and receive those tax credits in return. They would basically buy the tax credits for their use in reducing their taxes. And the advantage to that is the project has an infusion of millions of dollars, which otherwise it would have to raise, privately. The company that buys the tax credits gets a reduction in their taxes. Everyone benefits. This is why
When do you think that work to make it into apartments will start?
it's going to depend on how long it takes to put the funding together. It would be, a year would be probably very good, and that's possible, but really, 2 years or even 3 years is possible. Let's put it this way. Bruce Becker started negotiating with the city in, say, late 1999, early 2000. A contract was not signed with the city until 2003, 4 years later.
Yeah.
The construction took 2 years. So it was basically 6 years from the city's vote in August of 1999 to demolish the building to the opening of the building in September of 2005 for residents.
Well, you've had many people. I'd like to thank many people who have supported the Norwich Heritage Trust.
Oh, yes.
Regarding the Reid Hughes, many people have shown their support at City Hall meetings the past couple years. And I was wondering, is there going to be another City Hall meeting that's going to be coming up?
Well, I think that there will be when a proposal, first the request for proposals has to be put out by the city manager. Women's Institute and Bill Morris will put in a proposal to the city manager. He will then look at it, bring it back to this city council, and the council will be making a decision at that point whether to accept the proposal or not. And there may be some wrinkles, there may be some changes that have to be made, but I would anticipate that we will be coming in to support the Women's Institute proposal when it comes back to the council.
All right. Dale, I'd like to thank you for joining me today.
Oh, thank you, Maria.
And it's a very uplifting and positive report on the Reid Hughes building update. So thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you enjoyed my show. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria.
Thanks. It's good news.
Can we talk, or is this being recorded? Yeah, I would like to, at some point, I think perhaps when the Women's Institute has their proposal, it might be good to have them come in and discuss that here. It would be worthwhile. And of course, that will be more full-blown. We'll have really have finished drawings of, what they're going to do. It should be very exciting.
Okay. Yeah, it will be, definitely.
And Bill Krosky is a very dynamic architect. Actually, it's a great little team that they've developed.
Yeah, so I guess if anyone wants to look for future meetings regarding the city, city council meeting regarding the Reid Hughes building, please join us in our efforts, the Norwich Heritage Trust efforts for the development of the Reid Hughes building. Thank you.